Let's see how my video will perform at the 4th hour. And oh my gosh. So I started going viral. Well, at least I think I was. I'm not too sure. After seeing my views climb on my previous video, it definitely seemed like I was going viral, but I wanted to be sure. So like any civilized, impatient person, I calculated Newton's polynomial interpolation to see if I am actually going viral. As a person of certainty and a firm believer of the empirical method, I offer you a video to predict if your video will trend. Before you click off and are all like, what is the Sasquatch doing trying to show me math and make sense of math? I hate math. Math is hard. I get it. I did an applied mathematics degree. I know it's hard. But coming from a 4.0 GPA graduate, I know it could be really cool too. And let me show you why. So my mathematics course discussed Newton's polynomial interpolation in depth, and it uses math models to reverse engineer a formula. The whole idea of the math here is to build off the previous model so that we can tinker it, fine-tune it, to make it more and more accurate. So Newton's interpolation is this mumbo jumbo. Basically, there's a formula, we need to plug in some numbers. YouTube Studio so far only has data that we want to use between 2 AM and 5 AM, since that's where we're actually looking a little trendy. So I'm going to use X to represent each hour and Y to represent that number of views I got in that hour. So let's make a model that works for our data so far, and this will allow us to predict the future.
Great Scott!
Newton's interpolation wants us to find these A values. They're like knobs to a stereo, fine-tuning the model. Just a quick side note. Notation is weird, but it keeps things organized. So this is A sub 0. It is a way of showing that it is the first knob among other knobs. And these little sub numbers will keep getting bigger, depending on if it's the first, second, or third knob. In this video, we are calculating up to 4 knobs. The A sub 0, in this case, is the same as the initial view count because this is the starting point for which we are actually starting to trend in views. We don't want to start at 0 because we are not actually starting the model at the start. We're starting it partway through the video already being uploaded. So let's find the first math model. When I write P with a 1 beside it, it's called P sub 1. It represents the first polynomial that we are making. This time there are going to be brackets beside it containing an X, which basically just means place a number of hours in the brackets instead of X, and I will calculate the views you should be getting at that hour. We will be plugging in numbers soon to help us discover the knob values needed for the model. It's important to lastly note there is a difference between X and X sub 0, because the former is a placeholder and the latter is for the data points we've already collected on the left side of the whiteboard. Starting hour X sub 0, first hour X sub 1, and so on. So we write this according to Newton's equation. We want to find the value of A sub 1. We can find this using our test data, so we plug in 1 into the placeholder, which means all of the x's turn to 1. We know some values because X sub 0 is the 0th hour. The 0th hour is obviously 0, since it's not actually an hour. P sub 1 with brackets of 1 is the amount of views at the first hour, which is right here, so 232 views in the first hour. P sub 0 is the amount of views in the starting 0th hour, which again is just 195 views because we're not starting from the beginning, we're starting halfway through the video. Solving for A sub 1 gives 37. Now the first polynomial is this thing, but it's just too basic, so using this as a foundation, let's make the model even better. Now the same process here, but this time we're going to be finding A sub 2, using the second hour data. Writing Newton's equation for the second polynomial gives us this thing. Notice how this equation includes the previous model. With the added values at the end, our model will get even more accurate. Replacing the placeholder with the second hour, number 2, gives this. Since the second hour had 394 views, we can replace P sub 2 with 394 views, plugging in what our basic polynomial was and replacing its value. The 2 gives this. And solving gives a sub 2 as 62.5. And the slightly more advanced polynomial is this. We have some confidence to interpolate now. Now you may ask what interpolating is. It is where you use a model built on past data to predict future behavior that hasn't happened yet, like predicting views. So at the third hour, which is at 6 a.m., the view count using this model is 681, and the actual view count was 550 at 6 a.m., which is only off by around 130 views, which is not bad considering it's only advanced by one level. But I'm not stopping there. I'm going to be fast forwarding the last tinkering to the model now that the third hour is 550 views, and I'm going to predict the future even better with this next model. You have to see this. So a sub 3 is negative 21.83333 repeating. That's going to be the final knob for our model. And the best math model for our viewer predictor is this. So let's figure out if we will trend. Let's see how my video will perform at the fourth hour. And oh my gosh, the model says we will get 569 more views, and that's not bad. Slightly better than our last amount of views that we got. Then in the fifth hour, we will get 320 more views. Oh no, we are not getting as many views as we were before. And the sixth hour, yikes, negative 328 views. Graphing it shows this. We get lots of positive views at the start and then negative views. But a negative value means we are losing views, and it's not actually possible to lose views on a video, which could only mean... Damn. YouTube algorithm, please make my videos trend. Leave a comment below if you have experienced this before, and leave questions you may have down below. If you feel like staying on the science train, be sure to check out my recommended video here, and like and subscribe if you enjoy it. Stay curious, stay positive, and bye for now.